Hello, Guardians. It is Ebontis here, and we are back for another Xur day. It is November 20th, and we are on Nessus up here at Watcher's Grave. And as the big giant golden ship is no longer parked over here, Xur has actually decided to jump back into his tree. So I'm wondering at some point if we ever get to see Xur up in Europa or Tangled Shore or the Dreaming City, would be really cool. Usually, what I'll do is kind of come around the back side of this big tree trunk. A little easier to just get up here. And then we will run over here. Also, we had a very special guest on the podcast. I will tell you guys about that in the end. All right, apparently he's not standing in the light right now, but just a reminder, you do have your exotic engram. Again, this is not going to contain new exotics from Beyond Light. Those are coming from the solo Lost Sector rolls. It seems like that's where they tend to be coming from. But this will complete your collection of older exotics. So if you are missing anything from previous expansions or previous seasons and years, this is a good place to working on completing that collection. So now let's go through his inventory. First, we've got Skyburner's Oath, and this is going to be a slug shotgun. So it's a slug rifle. This weapon lobs large explosive seeking slugs when you are firing from the hip. It's actually a fairly useful weapon if you're just kind of floating around or gliding around and shooting from the hip. There's a little bit of tracking to those, which is quite beneficial. When you aim down sights, the slugs travel fast and straight, with higher damage and lower rate of fire. This isn't what I would call like an amazing weapon. We're not doing a whole lot with Cabal right now, because it does have the benefit of, for the Empire, this weapon fires full auto, which is actually really cool. If you are floating in the air, just aim in the general direction. The tracking kind of takes care of the rest. And then does extra damage to Cabal and penetrates failing shields. So all of that combined together to be a decent Cabal killing weapon. Some people joke around as it kind of being the AC 130. We're just floating and, dropping fire from above. It's a cool weapon, so if you don't have it, I would say pick it up, toy around with it. But I don't love scouts right now, even though I think they are part of the artifact this season for some of the champion mods. Either way, nice thing is it is an exotic, so as the mods from the artifact can they go on armor, you could actually use this with some of those champion mods. So test it out. Maybe you're going to need a solar scout rifle. This one might actually work. It's a cool gun. Add it to your collection if you don't have it. For the hunters today, you guys got the short end of the stick. I know in a previous week it was the Aeon Safes for the Titan. Now we have the Aeon Swifts for the hunters. Same thing here. I don't like these. Nobody uses them, so they're just not a great exotic to have. The way it works is if you dodge, you give the following to nearby Aeon cult wearers. So if other classes or other people around you are wearing this exotic, they get the following bonuses as that class. Grenade energy to Warlocks, melee energy to Titans, dodge energy to Hunters. Nobody wears this thing, so really you're the only one who's going to be getting the benefits from it. And then on top of that, you've got other allies receive a fraction of the shared energy. That's not really doing a whole lot for anybody. So not a great exotic. The only reason I would tell you to buy this one is if you have a decent amount of shards and you for some reason don't have it, I would at least buy it cheap. The main reason is if you buy the exotic engram that he sells for like 97 shards, you don't want to get Aeon Swift from those if you're trying to complete your collection. So buy them cheap, throw them in the vault, forget about them. Just it's one of those you just kind of need to check the box and move on. Stats are 62. Not even going to talk about them because I doubt you're going to be wearing this thing. Now for the Titan, we've got the Synthoceps, and these are actually pretty cool. So per Kier's biotic enhancements, increased melee lunge range, so you're actually able to melee a little farther. Then you've got improved melee and super damage when you are surrounded. Quite a few of the Titan supers do tend to put you in the middle of a battlefield, especially think about a striker or something like that, where you're going to actually slam down and be in the middle. So you get a surrounded bonus on your melee and super damage, and it just kind of makes your supers hit a little bit harder. Perks on this one, that's basically going to cover it. Nice thing is you guys have seen all the new weapons go no matter if it's Solar, Arc, or Void, so don't have to worry about that quite as much. We do have 61 stat total, so it is fairly low. We're looking at 14 mobility, 13 strength, a little higher on those two categories than I would like to see on something based around super bonus, but you do get some bonus to improved melee, so 13 strength is not completely going to waste. 15 intellect, not bad. I just hate seeing 2 in discipline. That's really, really low, and everybody likes a decent grenade, so I mean, if it is going to give you some strength and mobility, which isn't all bad, a little bit of recovery and resilience, and intellect isn't totally trash, which is good for a super one. Just the discipline being low, this is not going to help you in a grenade build. But it's okay, I guess, because strength and intellect are the main focus, and you've got both of those over 12 already. So not too bad. Might be one to pick up. Check your stat roll on yours if you have one. see if this thing is better, and pick it up. But if you're a new Titan, this one definitely can give you some nice bonuses. Check it out. It's worth picking up. For the Warlock, we've got the Karnstein Armlets. Vampire's Caress is the perk. Melee kills instantly restore a large amount of health and continue to restore health afterwards for a short duration. So what that means is your health bar up at the top, say it's half full, you punch something, you're going to get a chunk of that health back, and then continue after that chunk goes in. You're going to continue to get health. So if you get that melee kill, you trade back and forth twice in PvP, you'll fill your health, but you might actually, if you take like one more bullet of damage while it's filling up, you're going to continue to fill that health back up even after that shot. So it's going to give you that little extra healing that's going to last longer, which can have some really good benefits. Perks over here, we've got Resilience at 15. Not the best thing for a Warlock, but Resilience seems to actually play something with Stasis, so not a horrible stat to consider now. Recovery 9 for a Warlock is a bit low, but you do have 17 on Intellect, which is... Can't really complain about that one, but as this is a melee item, 6 in strength is fairly low. So not an optimal stat roll for this thing, but 17 in intellect isn't too shabby. And the punching getting you health back can be a way for you to survive. If you're in a bad spot in PvE and you punch something, you get a health back and then that continued health restoration. It could be that little bit that keeps you alive in a tough spot. I don't know if this is going to play like as a PvE god weapon or god, exotic or anything like that. It's probably not at like S tier or anything, but it can save you in some tough spots. Definitely one to consider buying. And the stat roll isn't trash, it's just not that high and not exactly where you'd want some of these rolls. If that resilience was down there in strength, then we might be talking a little higher recovery for Warlocks, a couple shifts around, but you can only get so lucky on stats, I guess. So that covers the Warlock. And that pretty much wraps it up for Xur this week, guys. As I said, the Last Word podcast, episode 128, we had Sky Lewin on for the first hour. He is one of the composers at Bungie. He was one of the musical directors for Beyond Light. So if you enjoyed the music at all, definitely had some cool questions with him. And then after that, my co-host Cognito and I, we talked about just our thoughts on Beyond Light for a while after that. So it's a great podcast. Look for that one later on the channel. I'll get that one posted up tomorrow. Thank you guys very much. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the alert bell. More stuff about Destiny will always be coming to you guys. You can find me on Twitter, and then on Twitch, I am having some ISP upload consistency issues, so I am on twitch.tv/Ebontis. Just streaming right now is a bit of an issue, so as soon as that comes back up, you'll see me on there too. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you in the next one.